Hi everyone, this is Kassie, and these are the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of November the 7th to November the 13th. If you enjoy my videos and you like the way I interpret the cards, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, share, like, and don't forget to hit the notifications bell so that you are the first to see anything new that comes up. For those of you who want a personal consultation with me, you can always find me on my website www.kassikai.com, where you will also get 3 free minutes with your subscription and extra free minutes every month, especially if there are significant cosmic events like eclipses or a full moon or a special new moon. I just want you to come with an open heart and an open mind for anything that the cards will reveal to us during the reading. And always keep in mind that one of the reasons we ask the cards for insight and advice is to try and change outcomes that we don't like. So it's not just for predictions, it's also for guidance. The deck we are going to use today is the classic Rider-Waite deck in the 2-color version, brown and black. Other than that, the cards are identical with the classic deck, which is the most popular deck in the world and a very good deck to have in order to start reading tarot. If you want to know last week's predictions, you can always click on the link above. But let's get on with the predictions. For Aries, we had the Fool, and now it's the 5 of Pentacles. The Fool is a card of enthusiasm, a card of new beginnings, potential, life's infinite possibilities. So perhaps something new started last week, or you had a new idea, a new insight that led you to take a leap of faith or to try something new. And under this energy, we usually feel very enthusiastic, excited for new beginnings. And this week you have the 5 of Pentacles. Now the 5 of Pentacles is an earth card, a grounding energy. It's very different because first of all, the 5 of Pentacles is a much heavier energy than the Fool, because often it points to some sort of loss or some sort of lack. And maybe you will be feeling that something is missing from your life or something requires your attention. 5 of Pentacles usually represents a practical matter, money or career that needs to be resolved somehow. And the good news is that you will probably share the burden of whatever comes up with someone else or with other people. And through that process, you will probably find out who your allies are and who are those that don't pay attention to your needs. The 5 of Pentacles is Mercury in Taurus, and that means you will read everything through your 5 senses this week, because Taurus is our senses. Your thoughts, your decisions will be strongly influenced by how you feel. Your communication style may be slow and measured, and other people may get a sense that you are quite deliberate in what you do. You will think carefully and deliberately, which is not a bad thing at all, especially because at times, and for some of you, the energy of the Fool of last week must have brought some immaturity or a naive attitude, and you are now moving to a more mature and a more practical path of thought, which is probably needed at this stage. Now, if you want to know how someone feels about you, they feel there is an imbalance because they feel left out in some way, or maybe you feel that way. They did something that they did not include you, and there might be a dispute over that. One thing to know is that at this stage, energies between you are not really aligned, or you are not on the same wavelength. You have different needs, and there is a high risk of misunderstandings. The 5 of Pentacles is called the Lord of Worry, and that's because under its energy we have a tendency to worry a bit too much. And I know it's easier said than done, but you should not worry too much about a situation that you cannot control. Because usually the more we try to control something, the more it resists us, and the more we end up being controlled by it. And then that's not what you want, of course. Friday appears to be the significant day of this week, so it's around Friday, Thursday, Friday that you will feel this energy the most. For Taurus, we had the Strength, and now it's the High Priestess. The Strength is a card of power, a card that shows that last week you must have had the upper hand in a situation or in a relationship, and I hope you used that energy wisely, because the Strength is about controlling a situation. It gives us the chance to do that, but in a way that's not forceful and it's not manipulative. It's a way that can actually bring you the results that you want, maybe a little slow, but at the same time it can always show solid results and positive outcomes. Now, the High Priestess this week indicates that there is a situation that is unclear, or there are aspects of a situation that have not appeared yet, or you are not aware of what is going on in the background, or someone is hiding things from you. So it's always good to wait until you have the full picture, and that could take up to a month from now, because the timing of the High Priestess, which is associated with the moon, is usually a month, because that's the cycle of the moon. So between now and the beginning of December, there will be a situation that is not very clear and that is not very solid. Now, that can be good and bad. Bad because you may not have the certainty you are looking for. You may not be aware of what is going on exactly, or what you need to do, or how someone feels. But the energy of the moon and the High Priestess is flexible, is volatile, and that also gives you the chance to make adjustments, because it's not a situation that has been that's too rigid or too defined. And even if that could cause some anxiety, some stress, at the same time it gives you the chance to make changes, to make adjustments, especially if you have tried certain things and they didn't work. And now an opportunity arises for you to try different things, to try different methods. If you are wondering how someone feels about you, it appears that they are not aware of their feelings, they are suppressing their feelings, or they fear their feelings. They say that the High Priestess knows how she feels, and that's true if the person is mature enough and they know what they want. But for those who are not as mature as they should be and they don't know what they want, then they are suppressing their feelings, they are not in touch with those feelings. And that will be reflected in their behavior as mood swings or ups and downs. Think of the moon energy and how the moon changes phases all the time. So you may experience this up and down or a back and forth in them. But that, as I said, will last for a few weeks, a month at the most. Monday seems to be the strong day of this week, Monday or Tuesday, because Monday is the day of the moon, and as we saw, the High Priestess is associated with the moon and its energy. For Gemini, we had the Ace of Wands, and now it's the Page of Cups. Both cards show new beginnings, fresh energy, news, so perhaps you decided to start something new last week, or someone came to you with an offer, with a proposal, with an invitation to do something new or to make a new beginning in a relationship, in a professional situation. Whatever the case, it appears that this week too you are under the same energy, an energy of new beginnings. And the Page of Cups could be someone in your life who's a water sign or ascendant person, meaning Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, and that person will play a role in your life. Maybe they are younger than you, or they are a bit immature. In that case, you may want to examine and explore whether your needs and your desires, your expectations are aligned, and whether you are on the same wavelength. Because in some cases, under this energy, one can be more mature than the other, and that imbalance could cause some turbulence in a relationship, some ups and downs. But in general, the Page of Cups is a very positive energy because it shows that someone has positive feelings for you. They will do something to show you that they care about you. And the difference between the Ace of Wands and the Page of Cups is that if we are talking about a relationship, the Ace of Wands is the physical aspect of it. It's sexual desire, sexual attraction. You see someone and you feel very drawn to them. But the Page of Cups is the more emotional aspect of it, meaning that feelings are starting to develop, deeper feelings, romantic feelings, loving feelings. And you will feel that energy more strongly this week. So if you thought that someone was just sexually attracted to you, this week you will see that this is not the case and that there are deeper feelings in them. The water-based nature of this page indicates that things may be a little unstable for a while because the situation has not yet matured and the people involved have not yet found their roles within the relationship. So you might feel that you are walking on shifting sands at times, but at this stage it's inevitable that you have to take an emotional risk because there is a romantic interest, there is attraction, but you have to find the right way to make it work for both of you. This week you may receive an interesting message, a message of love, a proposal, an invitation that will make you feel good. It will be very positive, but you may even receive an apology and it will be a heartfelt one. For some of you, the Page of Cups combined with the energy of the Ace of Wands you had last week could be an opportunity to reunite with someone because both cards, like we said, indicate new beginnings. The strong days of this week will probably be the first part of the week, so Monday or Tuesday, that's when you will experience this energy the most. For Cancer, we had the Page of Wands and now it's the Knight of Swords. The Page of Wands is new beginnings, is new energy, fresh energy, and he's very enthusiastic, very excited about trying new things, making new things, or expressing his or her feelings. So perhaps something good happened last week and someone expressed their feelings to you, or you felt that there was strong attraction, strong sexual desire, and all those things made you feel really good. Now the energy of this king is exactly the opposite because maybe something was said. If we're talking about the same person, maybe something was said or they did something they felt was wrong, and now they are more reserved and more distant, more detached. So you will feel a shift in energy, or if we are talking about a completely different person, it will be someone who's an air sign or ascendant, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, a male most likely, and that person will play a role in your life. But there is this contrast between the energy of these two cards because the Page of Wands is warm fire energy, while the King of Swords is air and detached energy. So if we're talking about feelings, there will be some ups and downs this week, as maybe someone will be more distant or more disengaged, more detached emotionally, and I would advise you not to try and force them to express how they feel, or to not overdo it yourself with emotional expressions, because it's possible that this person will feel that you are pressuring them and they will not give the reaction that you want. They will probably become more distant and more detached, and that's not what you want, of course. The King of Swords indicates that there might be a legal matter that will require your attention this week. So if you find yourself in a situation that you don't know what the right thing to do is, if it's a serious situation that you feel that requires legal advice, don't hesitate to contact a lawyer and ask them to guide you so that you don't make any mistakes. For some of you, the King of Swords will be a legal matter that will be resolved this week and most likely in your favor. Timing with the King of Swords is usually, and kings in general, is usually 2 weeks, so the energies you will experience this week will continue to unfold and develop over a period of 2 weeks. The King of Swords always wants to do the right thing, so if you are wondering how someone feels about you, they do have feelings, but they feel that at this stage taking some distance is the right thing to do for them, and that could cause a conflict or a disagreement between you, and you two may decide to take distance from a situation, but that's not a bad thing because it will allow you to see things more clearly. And it's very possible that you will be able to release an old idea or an old plan you had, and now you can see that things cannot go ahead according to that plan because there are obstacles in the way, and you will probably decide to take a different approach, an approach that will bring more positive results. For Leo, we had the Knight of Wands, and now we have the Two of Wands. The Knight of Wands is a person in your life who's a fire sun or ascendant, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, and you are still under the energy of fire this week. It's the Two of Wands. The Knight of Wands always brings some developments. At times it's unexpected developments, but last week must have been very busy, eventful. Maybe there were some surprising developments, or someone acted in ways that you didn't expect. They were unpredictable. But at the same time, they must have been more active, more communicative, more willing to connect with you in ways that showed warm feelings, attraction, sexual desire. And this combination, the Knight of Wands with the Two of Wands, shows what usually happens in life. On the one hand, we have a phase, a stage that's very fast, eventful, busy, and then energies slow down and we need to take a step back and assess a situation, decide what we want to do, because the Two of Wands is also a card of decisions and choices. And in order for us to make a decision, that usually means that a second element comes into play, a new element or a new person. So it's basically deciding between two different energies, two different situations, two different options, or for some of you, between two different persons. If you want to know how someone feels about you, the Two of Wands indicates that there are feelings, there is attraction and sexual desire. At the same time, there is hesitation and ambiguity. That's probably because they don't know how to proceed. Maybe there's a difference, a contrast in what you want, in how you feel, and they do see that contrast and they don't know how to deal with it because they probably know that at this stage they cannot live up to your expectations, and they don't want that to destroy your relationship and your connection. They want to maintain this connection to you, and they are trying to maintain a certain balance between you, a certain harmony. Now, that's also a temporary thing because twos are the initial stages, or their energy is not strong enough to hold for a long time. So sooner or later, they will have to make a decision, or you will have to make a decision about them, or about the situation you are in. Astrologically, the Two of Wands is Mars in Aries, and that's a very strong placement for Mars because in Aries he's in his home basically. He's the ruler of Aries. That means this week you will feel very strong, very determined. Your energy will be very high, very intense, and that means you can accomplish much this week. Just make sure that you are not getting too impatient or too impulsive, because there is this risk under the energy of the Mars in Aries. and you may say something you will later regret, or you may do something impulsively and you will regret it later. So try to keep all those things under control and don't take action on impulse. The Two of Wands, as we said, is a decision, and if you are honest with yourself, you will know that you have already made that decision, maybe unconsciously, and you just need to bring it into your conscious awareness. So if you go within and connect with your inner self, with your inner needs, very honestly, you will know what you need to do and what the right thing to do is. The Two of Wands puts emphasis on Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. These are the days you will feel very strong and very determined, but for some of you it will manifest as indecisiveness and uncertainty. For Virgo, we had the Knight of Swords and now it's the Chariot. The Knight of Swords is an air card, a very fast card, actually one of the fastest cards in tarot. And that means there must have been some developments in your life, especially in terms of communications, because the Knight of Swords is a card of communications. Swords are associated with our thoughts, the way we express our thoughts. And maybe something was said and there was a misunderstanding or a misinterpretation, and someone took distance, or you decided to take distance, to take a step back and disengage from a situation for your own good. This week, the presence of the Chariot indicates that you will be able to overcome a conflict, not without effort though. And as you can see, the Chariot has two different horses, each one looking at different directions. And what that basically means is that there are differences between you and another, or you see a situation very differently, but at the same time you are on the same chariot, meaning you are in a situation that you want to maintain and you don't want to lose each other. So there is this intention, there is this connection that you want to keep, and you are willing to make sacrifices or compromises in order for that to happen. And this will be a week to explore those options and to see how you can reconcile those differences and how you could make things work in a way that will be beneficial for both of you, not without some effort. You're in a process that has started a while back and it has not been completed yet, so you are still making adjustments. It's an ongoing process and you haven't seen the end result yet. But you do know what you want. The Chariot always has a very clear goal in mind, and you know which direction to take, and that will help you make the right decisions and take the right steps in that direction. The Chariot is associated with Cancer, so there might be someone in your life who's a Cancer sun or ascendant, and there's a tendency in Cancerians to hide their feelings, to suppress their feelings, because they want to protect them. So maybe you are dealing with someone and this person is not showing what they feel. That's because they are suppressing or they are being reserved, guarded in an attempt to protect themselves or to protect you. There must have been some baggage from the past or bad decisions they made, mistakes that they don't want to repeat. And this reservation you see and this hesitation stems from the fact that they want to be sure that they are doing the right thing at this stage. The Chariot puts emphasis on the end of the week, so it will be around Saturday or Sunday that you will experience this energy, this influence the most. Also, if you have a large goal in mind, personal or professional, try to break it down to mini goals, but keep in mind that there might be someone who will not agree with what you are trying to do, and in that case there might be a contrast between you, but there is a will to reconcile your differences, and that will lead to some sort of compromise or a deal or an agreement, but probably not without some arguments or some contrasts. For Libra, we had the Ten of Wands and now it's the Ace of Swords. The Ten of Wands is a card of pressure, of stress. of anxiety. It shows too many different energies around you, too many people, different people making different demands. So maybe last week things were a little overwhelming for you, and you had to deal with so many different energies, and that put stress on you, and you felt that you needed a break, a time out. And with the Ace of Swords this week, it appears that you are going to make a break, because the Ace of Swords and aces in general shows something that finds outward expression, clarity of vision, or a new way of thinking. So there will probably be a very serious or a very enlightening talk with someone, and swords are generally associated with communications and the way we express our thoughts. Or you may receive a very important, a very significant message this week. But in any case, with the Ace of Swords, that's a card of power and a card of control, you will feel that you are coming into your full power again. With this energy, you will be able to rein in situations that have been confusing or unstable. So now you will know where you stand in a situation, in a relationship, and this week things will get clear and you will know the truth about something. The Ace of Swords is the card of truth anyway. If you're wondering how someone feels about you, this person is analyzing their feelings, and they are filtering their feelings through the lens of logic. And maybe they appear to be aloof or distant, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have feelings. Although for some of you this could be the case, meaning that if someone keeps giving you the wrong type of response, and it's a response that you don't like and you feel that you are not getting back what you give emotionally, then that means they don't share the same feelings. But for some of you, the Ace of Swords means that the person you are interested in does have feelings, but they are putting their logic above their feelings. They are trying to control their emotional responses, particularly if they believe that expressing them bears the risk of trouble in any way. The Ace of Swords is often a disruptive energy, and your decisions may have that disruptive element, which means that you may decide to disengage, to detach yourself and move on from a situation that you feel is not working out, and you may decide to cut cords with the past. As under the energy of the Ace of Swords, it's very common that you take distance to evaluate a situation, and that decision may not be final necessarily, because aces always show the beginning of action, the first stages, and there are many stages represented by the numbers that follow an ace, but it could be a decision that is much needed for now and will give you the chance to see a situation from a different angle and decide what you want to do with it. The Ace of Swords shows that the beginning of the week will be the strongest, so from Monday through Wednesday is when you will feel the energy of this ace the most. For Scorpio, we had the Queen of Wands, and now it's the Hanged Man. The Queen of Wands is a card of great action. It's a very intense, high-energy fire card. So last week must have been really busy for you with lots of things to do, social meetings, but also you must have experienced warm feelings, sexual attraction. So maybe someone showed you that they liked you, showed you they have feelings for you, and they did that with actions, not just with words. And now this week you have the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man is a very different energy and a much slower and passive energy. And also the elements of the cards are in contrast, because the Queen of Wands, like I said, is a fire card, while the Hanged Man is water, and the fire and water are not really friends. But this is usually the natural progression of things, in the sense that periods of high intensity and high activity are usually followed by slower periods, and things will slow down and energies will settle down. But that's to give you the chance, the opportunity to see something from a different angle. And this week you will feel the need to do so, because there is a situation in your life that's not quite clear. The Hanged Man is associated with the planet Neptune, and Neptune is great when it comes to artistic expression, to inspiration, to artistic endeavors, but it's not so great when it comes to understanding and clarity, because it can muddy the waters in a way that will make a situation very confusing and very uncertain. And if you find yourself in such a situation or in such a relationship, it's important to do that reversal that the Hanged Man does, to look from upside down and see what else there is to see, not just what appearances show you, but the deeper truth of a situation. Now I admit that under the energy of the Hanged Man, that's not a very easy thing to do, because there is so much uncertainty or indecisiveness, or someone is not emotionally stable, that gives confusing and mixed messages. So it's not easy for us to figure out what is going on exactly. And this can go on for 10 or 12 days, as that's the timing of the Hanged Man. So you may want to be a little patient and give yourself the time to assess the situation, and try not to take action this week. At least try not to make decisions that are final. Wait for a moment that you will feel more clear and more certain on what you need to do. The Hanged Man also suggests that you need to make a sacrifice in order for things to move forward, or someone else needs to make a sacrifice. And as long as that's not happening, you may find that a situation is stuck or stagnant, and there's nothing else you can do. And in general, under these energies, you should not try too hard to find ways to force things to happen, because usually it's life and it's the universe that needs to create the right conditions and the right circumstances in order for things to move forward. And yes, we do have some control, but we don't have total control over things. So it's best that you don't stress too much over what needs to be done or what you can do, or you're blaming yourself for things that you are not responsible of. Because most likely it's not that you do something wrong or that you made mistakes, but it's just that life works in that way and does not always allow for progress to happen smoothly. If you want to know how someone feels, there seems to be a change in their feelings. They used to feel one way, and now they feel a different way, and they are aloof and they're taking distance because they need to understand where they stand and what to do next. Or maybe you are feeling that way. In any case, the Hanged Man is not a very good sign for feelings, because it shows that instability, that uncertainty. And it's very important that you trust your intuition at this stage, as it will guide you to the right decisions. For Sagittarius, we had the Ten of Pentacles, and now we have the Hermit. The Ten of Pentacles last week means that something must have been achieved, and perhaps there were people who helped you, or they got involved one way or another, because as we have seen, tens usually include other people. But the Hermit this week is a very different energy, because this week you will get more introspective, desiring some time by yourself to explore an inner issue or to take some space. But since you are still under the energy of the Ten of Pentacles, responsibilities, obligations, or the expectations of others might keep you from getting this alone time. Or even a shared responsibility or a financial matter will keep you from taking good care of yourself, or from taking a much needed break. You may find that you have a dependency to someone that's not exactly healthy, and you may feel some pressure to solidify your bonds, to make a strong and visible commitment. No matter what kind of situation you find yourself in, this week you may feel things are getting a little confusing, as none of the persons involved in a situation or in a personal relationship are open to talking about their feelings, and they keep their thoughts to themselves. So if you are wondering how another feels about you, they are probably trying to figure that out at the moment, and they are looking within to understand what kind of feelings they experience. They need some time alone to ponder. Keep in mind that this person may want a lot of space. So one thing you need to examine is whether the type of connection you have in mind is aligned with the type of connection they have in mind. Also, there might be a person in your life who's a Virgo sun or ascendant, because the Hermit is associated with Virgo, and matters associated with Virgo may be in your focus, like your health or organization or planning or putting things in order one way or another. This is a week you should refrain from putting pressure on yourself or others, although you may experience some energies that can feel like pressure or tension. If you have difficulties in communication with someone, you should not try to push or instigate communications, especially if that person has not been very responsive or they never initiate contact. If you do, they will probably feel pressured and you won't get the results that you want. Try again later when they will be more open and extroverted, but for now it's clear they feel like being alone and they will probably block anyone who's trying to invade their privacy. For Sagittarius, we had the High Priestess and now we have the Queen of Cups. You are still under water energy this week because both cards are water cards, and that means your focus will still be in your feelings, in your relationships, personal relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, family relationships. But with the High Priestess last week, things might have been a bit confusing for you, depending on who you were dealing with. If the person with whom you connected was immature, then maybe he gave confusing signals, mixed signals. But this week with the Queen of Cups, you will experience a better and more open emotional expression. Because the Queen of Cups is someone who's in touch with their feelings, they know what they want, they know what they feel, and perhaps there will be a significant talk about your feelings and the other person will finally get you, they will understand where you're coming from, what you want, what your emotional needs are. So this is a very good week to have conversations that you consider difficult to have before. And also this is a good week for beauty treatments, to improve your environment, to make your home more beautiful, and generally to feel better in any way you can. Generally, there will be a very positive vibes around one of your relationships, and if you find yourself in need of emotional support will be given. A person who's very close to your heart will come to you and you will enjoy happy moments in good company. If you feel inclined to take on artistic or creative endeavors, this is a lovely time to do so. And maybe you will buy something beautiful this week, or one way or another you're going to surround yourself with beauty, and that will elevate your moods. If you're wondering how someone feels about you, the Queen of Cups means that they do have love in their heart for you, they have positive romantic feelings for you. However, it's important not to idealize anyone and to see your situation realistically without rose-tinted glasses. If you find yourself obsessing over someone, that's a sign that your emotions can get you in trouble and maybe you need to reassess a situation or the expectations you have from someone. It's very important this week to practice some self-love, showing love to yourself, taking care of yourself in the best possible way will also attract the right energies and the right people to you. People that will reflect that self-love back to you and will take care of you, and they will be in tune with what you want. In about 15 days from now, there will be a completion in a relationship, or something related to your personal relationships in general will come to a head. Aquarius, we had the Page of Swords and now it's the Seven of Swords. The Page of Swords is a card of communication, messages, but also it's a bit disruptive, which means that there might have been a misunderstanding, a misinterpretation, or something was said and someone took it personally, or they misinterpreted your intentions, or you did that. And this week some caution is needed because the Seven of Swords is a similar energy, because it often shows that things are not exactly as they appear to be. So you are probably in the same vibe as last week and you will feel the need to make some changes, but you may be afraid to make those changes openly or directly. So for instance, you want to leave your job, but you won't quit unless you find a new position, and the same applies to personal relationships. Someone's words or actions may raise suspicions this week, and you may have difficulty trusting their words, especially if they have a history of being dishonest. You must see the situation without rose-tinted glasses, and you should not try to find excuses for another's bad behavior. Under the energy of the Seven of Swords, there might be thoughts of cheating or stealing, so try to be very alert and aware of what is going on around you. If you want to know how someone feels about you, the Seven of Swords means that they may feel that you have slighted them or you attacked them, and for that reason they may decide to take distance and stop communicating with you. However, they may check your social media, as they do want to know how you're doing and what you've been up to. In general, this person has feelings for you, but there are some trust issues. They don't trust you, or they don't trust the process of the relationship, and in any case, things are not stable at this stage. Don't expect people to be direct about their thoughts or their feelings this week, and maybe you too will be a little reserved. And if you want to get information about something or someone, it's best that you don't ask directly, but try to prompt them to talk about what you want by asking indirect questions. The Seven of Swords is the moon in Aquarius, and that's a very familiar energy to you because you are an Aquarius and you understand this vibe very well. And the moon in Aquarius is very inquisitive, but it can also be eccentric. So don't be surprised if you meet a very unusual person this week, or you find yourself in a very unusual situation. For Pisces, we had the Magician, and now it's the Devil. The Magician can be someone in your life who's very charming and they show strong interest to you. They try to attract your attention, they try to impress you, and depending on the level of maturity of that person, you may experience even a very exciting connection with them or an on and off relationship, because that's often the case with the Magician. Another manifestation of this card is that things at times are not exactly as they appear to be. Appearances are deceptive, as they say. And that's actually the common element between the two cards, because the Devil too can be deceptive or can make a situation appear very different from what it really is. So there's a lot of caution needed this week, especially if you can sense that something is off or that someone is trying to deceive you or to lie to you. And it's possible that you are dealing with a life lesson that you need to learn, or you need to show that you've learned a lesson that life gave you before. And that's because both cards are major arcana cards. And the presence of the Devil in particular indicates a bad habit you need to give up or to control. And when I'm saying a bad habit, I don't necessarily mean smoking or drinking. A bad habit can also be an obsession we have over something or someone, or an addiction, an unhealthy emotional attachment. And this week you will be asked to deal with it again with the same challenge. But the message of this combination is that you can try and deal with it with your own way, with a different way that will possibly produce different results. So if there's a situation and you are wondering how it will develop, there might be a desire to control another, or another will try to control you in some way, and there can be manipulation through intense emotional reactions. Or perhaps someone will play with your insecurities, intentionally or not. So if you find yourself in any of the above positions, your best weapon is clear and direct communication that will not allow room for covert tactics. If you want to know how someone feels about you, sexual attraction is very strong and there might be some form of codependency between you. They may be obsessed literally with you for one reason or another. So even if not all aspects of your connection are healthy, at the same time there's also a strong desire to remain connected. The devil often represents a person in your life who's Capricorn sun or ascendant, and it also points to events that will happen between the 21st December and the 20th January, and there might be something that will come to a completion then. The devil is a very good sign for money and material matters, or also your ambitions. That's why this week you may achieve a goal. And you can expect that this week you will make some extra money too, or perhaps you will buy something expensive, an expensive object, or an expensive service. So these were the weekly tarot horoscopes for all signs. I hope you enjoyed them, and I will see you again next week. I wish you a happy and productive week.